Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this from. My name is Beverly Vugutsa. I'm a journalist by profession, a communication graduate from Daystar University. I'm coming in to weigh in on the matter that has been trending for the last few days, coming in as a journalist. I'm not in support of the media, I'm not in support of the said church. But when I looked at that particular piece of story that was done, yes, to the audience outside there, they've been given information. But you've forgotten that there is an audience that already knows that these are lies. Whatever that was being aired was not done properly. The story was not done properly. I'm talking as a person who has carried out a story of a mama whose baby was healed, a 7-year-old boy who had never walked. And this particular woman has never been to that church. She just went to that church the time the meeting was announced at Central Park.
Kuna siku moja kumekuwa na mkutano wa kanisa Central Park. Mapasta wakawa wanatembea mlango kwa mlango, wakanikujia hadi kwa nyumba kunielezea kuhusu huo mkutano. Wakaniuliza kama nitakubali kuenda, na nikakubali. Nikachukua mtoto tukaenda naye hadi Central Park.
Now, when you come and tell us that all these miracles are fake and it's a scam, then my question is, were all these people paid to say that they were healed? Including the outsiders, were they paid to say that they were healed?
Mimi niliona mtoto amepeleka step, akapeleka step ingine, akapeleka ingine. Nikaona sasa ameanza kutembea. Mimi kumfuata mbio, nataka kumshika wenye tulikuwa nao tumetoka Kawangware. Pia nilisikia watu wananishika kutoka nyuma. Wananiambia, mama, wachana na mtoto, hawezi anguka. Mimi niko na hiyo wasiwasi mtoto ataanguka, si kawaida. Na kuambia ndio mtoto kutembea, tulizunguka kiwanja mzima.
If you had an issue with case study 1, let's say of Peter, and you don't understand, what are you supposed to do as a journalist? Go back. Ask for the person who's in charge of the documents. I am not understanding this. Kindly, can you clarify on this? As you give me 2 or 3 more cases, to carry on. That ought to have happened. Because when we saw this particular story, it all ended up as, in conclusion, all the healings are fake, which is not the case. And my desire is for the Kenyan media to stand up and do their work diligently. Diligently meaning, if this is the media that we are consuming from, then there's a problem, a very big problem. Because once this particular TV station has aired this particular story, the other stations will carry up the story from the source, which are the ones who aired, without even investigating. They'll run with the story. I'll give an example of Tuko. They're running with the story. From yesterday to today, they're running with the story. Lies. And I'm asking, meaning, even when Rebecca Moses said that he sent a message to Dr. Edward Owuor via email, you might be a Muslim, but for Christians, we know and we understand. Anytime you have a problem, apart from praying, most of us reach out to our pastors. Most of us reach out to our church leaders through phone calls, through messages. Then why is it becoming a big deal, when Rebecca Moses says that when she says that she reached out via email? And then I expected you guys to follow up with Rebecca Moses, to follow up. Was she healed? Was she HIV positive? Was she healed? What is the documentation saying? You stopped at Peter Oyan, but for Rebecca Moses, you did not follow up. Okay, give me another case. Say, okay, I've heard that there's a lecturer, a senior lecturer, Professor Nancy Ombronje. Can I have her so that I can see? Getting different angles because you really want to, utilize what you have. And I believe you had this case studies with you there at the headquarters. That one I believe. But what did you do? When you say that all these things are lies, does it mean the Kenyan government does not know? For God's sake, the church has been operating now for more than 20 years. 20 years. Does it mean that the Kenyan government does not know what is happening in the said church? Does it mean that they're liaising with the government? When they're being given permits to do whatever, to do their meetings, their crusades in Nakuru, Eldoret, whatever, Kisumu. Does it mean the Kenyan government does not know? Does it mean that the church pays the government so that they can continue with their meeting? Now, your story was aired, but you leave people at a crossroad. What happens to those who are not in the church and got healed when they come to see and say, wamesema kweli hakuna uponyaji na kwani mimi nilipona aje? And then you're saying it's a scam. Come on. And another thing, let me talk about the token. I am a journalist. I receive a token. We've received tokens before from politicians, from those people that we go interview. We receive tokens. But how come this particular token, you had to refund it? Because you knew you already came with a mindset. You knew what you wanted. And you wanted that refund to be part of your script. I'm talking as a journalist. I know what it is. We call those tokens, for those who do not know. In the newsroom, it's called mboga. Mboga meaning the money that you've been given as a appreciation. Wengine wanapatiwa so that story ya mtu fulani iwe na uzito fulani ikifika kule newsroom, time ya editing. We know these things. So I'm asking, does it mean that there's no single healing in the said church? And if there is, what happens if another mainstream media takes up the story and decides to say that I want to take this story but take another angle? I want these particular people that have been healed. I want to prove. What will you tell the people? Right now, unasherekea kwa hiyo glory yako ya saa hizi. But let me tell you something. Your day is coming, for sure. And I'm talking as a journalist because I know I covered a story that was true, a story that was not even from a member of the church, but a story that was from an outsider. What are you telling people? Come on. Media Council of Kenya, let us pull up our socks in whatever work that we're doing. Thank you very much.